You've written on sheets of paper like this without paying much attention to it, even though you know it comes from something like this. Now, how do you get this out of that? Well, if you look at wood under the microscope, you'll see it's made up of fibers, hollow tubes that run in one direction, held together by a sort of very strong natural glue. To make paper, you have to get rid of the glue and keep the fibers. Of course, first you have to harvest the trees and chop them up into little pieces. The next step is demonstrated with experimental equipment in the lab of the Hammermill Paper Company. Ground wood chips are put into a large pressure cooker. A chemical is added that will help dissolve the glue that holds the fibers together. After heat, pressure, and chemical action, the chips are a soggy mass that looks something like oatmeal, but at least they're no longer held together with that glue. It's now known as paper pulp. After bleaching and adding a color, the pulp is poured into a large tank of water. The water is quickly drained out the bottom, and the pulp is deposited on a very fine screen. The wet paper is sent through a heated press to remove the water, and finally, a finished sheet of paper. Of course, the paper you use is made with giant machines. You see, there are more than 7,000 different kinds of paper, and every person consumes hundreds of pounds of paper each year, so it must be made in huge quantities. 2,000 years ago, the Chinese discovered how to make wet pulp into paper. Today, tons of wet pulp go into one end of a highly automated factory that uses the latest technology to take wood apart to make that bleached, dried, smooth sheet of matted fibers you call paper.